Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned into On the Real on the R Squared Network. I'm your host, Steve Johnson. Joining me today is my brother from the same mother, Mr. Johnson.
How y'all doing out there in TV land?
How are you, sir? How you doing without headphones?
Chilling, bro. It's hot.
You look cool.
Chilling, bro.
Especially with those sunglasses.
I know.
And
it's crazy.
the last best hope for the resistance, Mr. Woods.
What up, 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 what up?
Oh, you've graced us with your presence, good sir.
You know, some would say.
We've missed you, bro.
Oh,
it's never the same without you.
No, I heard about the fun fact about Michael Jackson.
Did you know?
Yeah. Is that true?
Could be.
It can't be a fun fact if it's not true.
No, it is true. It is true. Jar Jar Binks was almost Michael Jackson. How would that have changed your view of the movie?
It would have still been bad.
Oh,
fun fact.
Okay.
It would have been a little bit better, though.
I was giving you time.
I believe his name is Ahmad Best. Is that
Ahmad
the guy?
Best, yes.
The guy who played
Jar
right?
Jar.
Jar Jar?
Yes.
And actually, I wasn't going to do this fun fact, but since you brought it up,
since I brought it up,
came to my
it's
mind.
my fault now.
It is.
Okay.
Well, this is not fun, but the movie, his appearance as Jar Jar Binks drove him to, he was considering committing suicide.
Yes, I heard this. I heard this because of all the backlash he got from Star Wars fans are a very fickle bunch.
Wait. The dude who
that's
played Jar Jar committed suicide?
No, he didn't commit. He was
going
contemplating it. Yeah.
He thought about it.
Because people hated it so much?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had got a lot of hate mail and...
He's soft.
Nah, man, you don't know what it was like back then. They actually had to... See, here's the thing. It's very easy to send somebody like a hate tweet.
Right.
If somebody's going to write a letter to you
and it's coming to your address like they found you to tell you like, yo, you're trash.
Yeah.
We hate
Why
Jar
not
Jar
just
Binks?
say George Lucas is trash? I didn't write that shit. I just got paid a check. Like, why are you taking it so personal what people say to you, man? Opinions are like assholes, you know?
Yeah,
everyone's got one.
You know.
Or two.
The thing is...
Yeah, mother effer need to stop being so soft. That's the problem.
What happened when you start getting death threats?
F them, bro.
You too
F
cool
all
for
of
that?
y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all don't pay my goddamn bills.
Not yet.
Send 'em.
Not yet.
I see what you did.
Not yet.
Buddy.
See? So, no, but yeah. So that's
you don't own me.
Thing.
That's the point.
All right, so let's get into this. This is going to be a quick show today, ladies and gentlemen, because
it's hot,
and there's not a lot of news. So
there's always news.
I want to start off by talking about Black Panther.
Yes, Wakanda Forever.
It's the big movie that could.
He's the king of the hill, bro.
Black Panther. It was already the third highest grossing film of all time, but this weekend it passed the mythical $700 million mark in North
domestically.
America.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
There are only two films in front of it, that being Avatar at $760 million and Star Wars: The Force Awakens at just over $950 million. Oh, Deron Sims is watching. How are you, sir?
What up, Ronnie D? What's poppin'?
Right. So, here's the thing. Some people are saying Disney cheated because
this is not a first.
The film
they cooking the books
was
always.
No, it's not that. Well, let me explain.
Come on.
So basically, the film was at like $699.
They never took that shit out of theaters.
Like
you can still go to a theater right now and see it because when Infinity War and all of this stuff was out, I was just there like, why is Ant-Man and Infinity War and all of this stuff still playing?
People to go get the
exactly.
Play. That's the perfect. Like
it's just
Saturday,
like we don't have a whole Marvel weekend.
Okay, now.
All the Johnny Come Latelys is just like, it's all of this stuff. We're just gonna binge watch it for a day.
It was only it was down. It had like $1 million to go, and it was only making like 15,000 a week.
Okay. Because
it was only on 20 screens. But as they got closer, Disney was like, "Yeah, we gonna put it up to about 100 and something screens."
They pushed it back out.
Yeah, just so that they could hit that mark because it was getting so close.
Now think about that for a second.
And at this point, I don't know. It's as long as it's been out, like for their original run, it's a long run. It's getting.
I ain't never seen nothing in the theaters that long.
And again, You can still watch this on VOD right now. Like, you can rent it or buy it right now and watch it in your house.
But you can do the
still-
same
The
thing.
Dark
with
Knight
Infinity
hung
War.
around for a long time.
Yeah.
You could do the same thing with Infinity War, bro.
Now,
And I could go watch it on my damn phone right now.
Speaking
Which
of
is a
Infinity
beauty.
War, I didn't
Legally
actually.
or illegally, but you ain't heard that from me.
I actually
I
watched.
literally just heard that from you.
Okay. So, let me try to save you here. I just watched the Infinity War special features because it's actually out and you can buy it legally.
Oh, word. Like, see, I don't got that on the bootleg. I don't got the special features.
So,
Let me hold that, son. Let me watch that.
So
First of
there's
all,
some setbacks.
there was a directors roundtable where all the directors from the MCU sat around a table and just talked about handing off the baton. You had
James.
Like from
Effing
each film,
done.
each film to the other, right?
So
Effing done, son, gun.
yeah, but James Gunn was there as well. Taika Waititi was there. Ryan Coogler was there. Joss Whedon was there.
Did you say James effing Dunn Gunn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dunn Son Gunn?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
I
anyway,
didn't want to curse, but
but
you get it.
more.
No, I do. It's perfect.
More importantly, there's a director's commentary with the Russo brothers and Marcus and McFeely, who are the writers.
Okay.
Mr.
of the
McFeely
film.
himself.
And so they answered a few questions. They confirmed that Korg and Valkyrie did not die in the original Thanos attack. They escaped. They also confirmed that the vision of Gamora was just that, a vision.
Yeah.
It's not. He wasn't in the Soul Stone. He was just having a fever dream. But the biggest thing they pointed out, in my
that
opinion,
I didn't know. I thought he might have been. Had a
Courtney's
conversation
watching us. What's happening, good sir?
The Soul Stone.
Yeah, I answered
Court, what up?
Courtney, you can buy.
I answered them already in the comments.
Okay. But the point is, you can buy it anywhere because it's a part of Movies Anywhere. So even if you buy it on iTunes or Google Play or the Xbox, if you buy it on Xbox, it's $25 for 4K.
Are you getting a cut of that check, bro? Damn.
If people wanted to know.
I'm telling them all the prices and stuff. That's why I put it in the comments, man.
Yeah, but
you better cut me my check if I'm gonna say that on the air where you get it at.
But
shit.
The point is, anywhere you buy it, you'll have access to it on all those
Word.
services. And Duran, no, he was not in the Soul Stone. This is according to the writers and directors. But the more important thing is
Who
that
was not in the Soul Stone?
Thanos,
Yeah.
when he snapped his finger. The more important thing, they said, that when they were writing this movie, that the story really, the heart of the story was a story between Thor and Thanos.
Yeah.
And they said if they changed one thing in that movie, which was at the end,
If they could.
No, not if they could.
Oh.
This is just the perspective of the movie. They said it's a Thor movie if Thor aimed for the head, but because he didn't, it's a Thanos movie. If you look at the arc, and the
entire movie was just following Thor and Thanos.
And then they said specifically Captain America will have a lot more to do in the next one.
I like that. If Thor aimed for the head, you know,
it's his movie.
Yeah, because he killed him.
It would have
but
been
Thanos succeeded, so
because it was really the battle between the two of them.
Right,
you know, Thor,
right.
he
has the
lost
bigger,
everything. He had to go into the cauldron, come back out a new man with new powers, take what he's learned, and go and defeat his greatest foe.
Right.
That's the hero's journey.
Right.
Except he aimed for the chest.
Right.
And so Thor's the hero's journey. Now the next,
he should have just aimed for the arm.
The next big, he should have. The next big bomb that they dropped was that. What did they say now? What did they say? This was a big one. Oh, Thanos in snapping
Is this like spoiler
his finger,
alerts or anything like that, or not really?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give him. If you haven't seen it by now, who are you?
Yes.
But Thanos in snapping his finger irreparably damaged the glove as well as himself.
No shit, Sherlock. You didn't see how broken up
No, I
it
know,
was when he did it?
That's how you do it, because clearly he couldn't be beaten. Now he's underpowered, and now Hulk could get in that ass.
Right.
Yeah, pause.
Just pointing it out.
Okay.
We'll see what Hulk does in the next one. You know,
He's gonna be out there wearing suits.
he didn't want that smoke for the.
He gonna be,
Yo,
you know.
Every time I watch that first 10 minutes of how he got handled, I'm like, yo.
Nah, man.
Hulk
You think
didn't
he's
want
gonna
it.
separate?
He got them
He didn't
You
hands.
think in the next
Expected-
movie he's gonna separate and they're gonna put like the Gray Hulk and all that shit,
I think the next.
or it's just gonna be Smart Hulk?
I think it's gonna be World War Hulk, where he goes off and it's gonna be crazy. I think some tragedy is gonna happen and Hulk's gonna realize it and he's gonna flip out.
They gotta kill
and
Scarlett
then-
Johansson.
Yeah, maybe before she gets her movie, which would be
Like,
crazy.
psych. You thought that Black Widow movie was coming? Psych.
We lied.
Yeah, that contract is up.
The same way we lied
You thought
about
you was about to get a
Hulk being in
raise?
the last one. Courtney doesn't like this, by the way. He says this is so far from the
I don't like
original
that shit.
comic.
What?
Duran says Doc said it was the only way to start. Yeah, I mean, this was the only way for it to play out, but
Right.
Thanos is going. That's why he had to let him get it, because that's how you stop him. Okay,
You gotta lose so you can win, bro.
now.
Did they make a they probably didn't, but they didn't make any comment about Idris Elba's character and
No.
like how they went away from
No.
that
they-
possibly being the Soul Stone or something like that.
No, they didn't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Not that I caught anyway, because I was in and out of it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But I definitely would. By the way, it still holds up. My 5th time watching it.
What, Infinity War?
Yeah.
I was just watching that before you called me down here.
It's an amazing movie.
Yeah,
It's
was watching
it's
it, you know,
pretty crazy.
illegally on the internet.
So
Not that you.
Not that I support such things.
Right.
Trapping out the bandwidth.
Right.
what do you call it? Robert says boo. He says Thanos can't be weak in this remake, in this rematch against the Hulk.
Oh, he
It's
gotta be full
disrespect to
power?
Hulk. It's
He's-
true.
he's still
I
gonna
don't want.
handle him.
I don't want. But
Yo, I'm
hold
tired
on.
of seeing Hulk get his ass beat, or Hulk being soft, or this playful Hulk. Like, I want to see Hulk go crazy, beat the Hulk.
Yeah, because I feel like they did him a disservice in Avengers 2. They did him a disservice in Ragnarok.
What happened to him in Avengers 2? You talking about when he fought Hulkbuster?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He got knocked out by Tony, a mortal man. He
I
got
think
knocked out.
because he
Well,
was
let me
so
see.
You got
overpowered in the
washed.
first one.
You got super washed by Thanos. You didn't even
Yeah,
see
he
none
got
of the
washed.
stones even glowing when Thanos was
But
washing.
okay, now
Like,
I'm
he was
glad you.
putting it on Thor's head to his noggin, and it didn't kill Thor.
Right,
But
right.
he didn't even use that shit on Hulk. He just washed him up.
No.
It's just
but
like, come on, son.
I'm actually glad
Thor
you brought
is
that
clearly
up
the strongest
because,
Avenger.
because that speaks to
Clearly.
easy. Listen, man.
In this
He couldn't get in the
MCU,
computer because he wasn't
Thor's a
strong.
god. Thor was washing up Hulk in all through Ragnarok. If they didn't cheat for Hulk to win,
No. You're full of.
yo, if
full of
Tony,
crap.
Mortal
He's not
Tony,
even saying Iron Man. He's
Mortal
calling him Tony.
Tony knocked him right
Tony.
the F
No,
out.
first of all,
Come on,
Banner
son.
built that suit.
Word.
He's calling him Tony.
Banner built the Hulkbuster. That's the first thing.
Yeah,
The
word.
second, so just for Robert,
So
He
you're
was
telling
washing
So
him
you're
up.
telling me that Hulk got washed?
He got super washed, bro.
no, absolutely not.
Keep denying it. Everybody saw it with their own two eyes.
Damn.
Everybody saw that shit. The only time Hulk had the one up is when they freaking used that shit to freaking electrocute a nigga who can control fucking electricity, which makes no sense, but that's neither here nor there. But they used that shit to freaking
wait,
If
nullify
you're talking
him.
about when he paralyzed.
Yeah, paralyzed Thor, so that Hulk could knock him out. They cheated for him.
Oh, but again, they would have just kept fighting. They didn't do it to save Hulk. Hulk just gets stronger as he goes.
So
Thor
you don't
got a
think
hit
Thor
off
would
him.
have eventually knocked him out?
Thor has a limit to his strength
How do you know that?
How?
because he does in the comics.
No, he doesn't.
Whoa! What is this based on comics now?
Okay.
When we're showcasing something
Okay.
in
All right,
film.
Watching
Let me-
this
let me
movie, you
point-
don't see that Thor is clearly
No.
more
But
powerful
the point
than
is,
Thanos.
Hulk got up, right? And when he was coming after him, Hulk was already up. So it's not like Hulk was done out of the fight. They were gonna keep fighting. You gotta
Thor
call
would've
that
took
a
his
tie.
hammer. Thor would have took Hulk's hammer back up and knocked him right the fuck out. That's all I'm saying.
No.
If
But
Tony
anyway,
could do it, okay. That's all I'm saying.
but Tony didn't do it.
Tony
Banner
super
did that.
did it.
Banner beat himself. But
Yeah.
again,
You say so?
let's be
Whatever
clear.
helps you sleep at night.
Duran agrees with you, LeVar.
Yes.
Thor,
Who
Courtney
you agree with,
agrees with
Yabi?
me. He says Thor
Listen,
wants
man,
no parts of the Hulk.
I'm over here with Thor. I've been
Thor.
saying that, but
Me
he's
and
been
Courtney
he's been
got this
talking about
figured
Hulk.
out.
Well, by law of averages, that's 3-2. So y'all lose. You
Okay.
lose.
You lose.
That's it.
Okay.
You lose.
But
Hold
here's
that
the
L.
thing. To Robert's point, Thanos won't be underpowered because he didn't use the Power Stone. Even though I agree that think that he did use the Power Stone to beat Hulk.
Yeah.
Right? So if he didn't use the Power Stone to beat Hulk, then Hulk fighting him, the fair one, without the glove is actually the fair fight.
Yeah.
All right.
Right? Am
Yeah.
I right or am I right?
Right. But I mean, he
So
got handled the first time, so I mean,
He got washed up.
Because he didn't expect it. He's, you know.
he didn't bounce
Because
up.
they need to stop
he
making
got
Hulk
shit.
soft in this MCU shit.
He was
What they need
flat.
to do.
Nah.
They make
all
him
I'm
too
saying.
soft.
I think.
Because Hulk is supposed to get stronger the madder
no.
he gets, and that's not what's been happening in the MCU.
No. But, again, what I think they're doing is because they want that feeling of when Hulk came out in the first Avengers and you really saw how strong he was.
Right.
One punch.
Right.
Thor couldn't knock out one of those big, like,
Chintari.
yeah, monsters with one punch.
He's super good.
No, he couldn't. In Ragnarok, he was running from that dragon thing chasing him.
Because apparently you didn't see Infinity War when he came there and cleaned everybody's clock. Like the whole of the Avengers was getting washed, every single one of them, but Thor had to come there and save the day.
That's because
Washed.
he had Stormbreaker.
Washed.
He needed help from a weapon. Cut it
Whatever.
out, man.
But only he could wield that weapon. Because he is worthy.
Yeah.
Duran says we should play Marvel Strike Force. He says it's dope. And Courtney says, y'all need to stop disrespecting Hulk tonight. Courtney, you are right, good sir.
Yo, son.
You're the only one with sense in this
All I'm
conversation.
saying
I don't know about that.
All I'm saying is, since Lou Ferrigno said that dumb shit, Hulk loves
That's
caught
not the
poison.
same. That's not the same.
Yo,
that's not
all
the same
Hulk's
Hulk.
caught an L, bro. He left his steak on that shit.
Nah, man. Look, all right,
man.
you know what?
All right.
I'm moving on.
Right.
Because y'all know what the hell y'all talking about.
Right.
That's
Whatever
the real
you say,
problem
bro.
here. Okay, so speaking of less interesting, and we are going to come back to the MCU, but less interesting cinematic universes, we have DC. They have apparently...
DCFU.
The DC, well, technically they've changed the name to World of DC, so WDC is what they want to be called now.
Oh, okay, I see what they did there.
Yeah, this is a part of their rebranding.
Right.
So,
What do you say that shit is called again?
Worlds of DC.
Worlds of DC.
So they've said that they have hired a screenwriter for a not Man of Steel movie, but Supergirl.
Supergirl.
Really? Who asked for that?
And it's being written by the same dude that wrote the Cloverfield Paradox.
Word.
So,
Yeah.
All right, so
AKA
what is all right? So here we go again with another DC film that's not Superman. Is that what
not
we're
Superman.
doing?
At this point, the first Man of Steel came out in 2013, right?
Okay.
From when they announce a movie like this, like a Man of Steel big budget movie,
Right.
it's going to take 2 years to come out.
Okay.
They haven't announced it yet.
Right.
They're probably not going to announce it this year.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to get to a point where if they don't announce it soon, it's going to be a 10-year gap between Man of Steel 1 and 2.
That is true.
Wow.
Like, what the F?
So I'm wondering, is this a matter of where they feel the writers feel that there's just nothing you can do with a Superman script because he's so OP?
I mean, they wrote him that way. You have to write it in a way where, okay, I can do anything, but I can't be everywhere. And you could play on
If
the...
they make another Superman movie, who does he fight?
Brainiac.
Okay.
I guess so.
Brainiac.
Sure. Or they could just recast Luthor. I wonder... Now, speaking of Superman and when's Man of Steel coming out, I'm hearing that part of the reason we haven't seen another Man of Steel yet is because Henry Cavill is playing hard to get.
Well, he wants that money.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill,
He's not there
is
yet.
smelling himself. He's not that big of an actor yet.
I agree.
And that I don't think he's a 20
Not
million-
yet. Not
he's
yet.
not a $20 million movie.
My dude, you can't say I want $20 million a movie if the last movie that was on paper, you have the biggest superheroes ever, because Batman is clearly bigger than any one of the Avengers. Superman
Right.
is bigger than any one of the Avengers. Wonder Woman by herself is bigger than any one of the Avengers.
Right.
And you put all these people in a movie and it flops.
That
Big
is pretty
flipper.
crazy.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that speaks to, like, Wonder Woman 2 or Wonder Woman 1984 is not a guaranteed hit,
Right.
right? Because it's coming off the stink of Justice League. Well, technically.
Yo, the feminazis is about to go out there and
what do
force
you
and go
call
see
it?
that shit, bro. They about to go out there. About to go out there scissoring and all type of stuff seeing that movie.
Stop it now. Stop. But the Aquaman, like,
The views
depending on
expressed
how,
by LeVar
Sisters
Johnson
adore
is
it for
solely his
themselves.
own.
depending on how Aquaman does, that's gonna tell us what Wonder Woman's
Aqua
gonna do.
bro.
Because I don't know that Wonder Woman makes... Because here's the thing. It was a novelty at the time. It was a good movie, but it fell apart in the third act. Watch it again or fight me.
That shit is super trash in the end. Like,
Right.
But the first 2 acts was good.
yeah.
Right.
No Man's
Themyscira,
Land,
great.
yeah.
Introduction of Wonder Woman, fantastic. That final act with all this flying stuff, hopefully they don't do that this time. But my point is...
All the fire and the debris and shit, yeah, it's terrible.
My point is, oh man, Robert says don't ask for a raise when the company's going under.
Pretty much.
Yo, that's a lesson in
It's
It's
life.
just like, if you had made them money, like, if that movie had been successful, you could have been like, I want $25 million.
Right.
You made a profit.
You're not Robert Downey
it's super,
Jr.
Like, if it's super succeeded, like, it doubled what they thought it was going to make,
Right.
then you could be like, okay, you could negotiate there. But
Right.
not after it flopped. You bugging the F out, Henry Cavill. It's
Or
like,
or
it's
maybe
all that-
you just think that, like, yo,
But you
let me
bugging
get
the
this
F out,
let
bro.
me get this bag from these chumps because they're not doing anything else with it.
I mean, maybe, but all I'm saying is this, and I like Henry Cavill, and
You know what
Henry
it is?
Cavill is not Superman to me. He is the Duke of Buckingham.
He is Lark.
From easy, man. But he's the Duke of Buckingham from Tudors. That's who Henry Cavill is to me.
I never seen
Right?
that shit. I don't know.
It's great. You should watch it. But the point is, he has been in 3 DCFU
So your Gambit
movies.
pick comes from,
He's been in 3 DCFU movies,
which is a great
and
Gambit pick.
one of them I thought was amazing, but a lot of people didn't. So one of them was mixed, and 2 of them people hate. So that's not a good position for you to ask for top
I just
money.
don't know if Superman, if how they're utilizing Superman is that he's just a proxy for everyone else. That's
But
it.
the idea
He's a
that you're
springboard.
gonna make Supergirl before
Man of Steel.
Man
of
of
Steel
Steel
2.
2, like, and they want to use Supergirl to reintroduce Superman is almost as dumb as a Venom movie without Spider-Man. But not quite.
I thought Justice
quite.
League was supposed
Not
to,
quite.
reintroduce Superman.
Oh, you said Justice League? No.
yeah,
It was
and-
just he's just a proxy, man. They just utilized him as a springboard for everyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
don't know
and
why.
that bothers me.
I've
he
said
is
this-
the
yeah.
first superhero. Like, how you can't make this work?
I've said this before, but I don't know why the DC animated universe is so much better than the regular cinematic universe.
They can take more chances.
Any of y'all seen Death of Superman?
No, not yet.
Animated?
It's on my list
No.
of things to
Yeah, I
watch.
watched it. I watched it today. So.
Oh yeah, I saw it was called BVS.
No, because I just said the animated.
No,
one,
I
Steve.
like that. I like
I
that.
get what you said, but the animated one did it
I
right.
didn't see the animated one.
Was it better
Holy
than Flashpoint
shit.
Paradox?
I got the books.
Was it better than Fast? It's a different story. All the DC animated
The
movies are good
greatest
to me.
Superman
Yeah, they are.
story
They really
ever
are.
told,
All
in my
people
opinion.
get killed, like people get like
It's Kingdom
it's
Come.
bloody and all of that
Right.
stuff.
It's violent, lives up to it.
A lot
So,
of people die.
So,
Like Doomsday comes in there and if anybody who read the comic, it's very true to that. And then they have the next movie coming out next year, Reign of the Superman. It's coming out in 2019.
Okay.
I was hoping it was already out. I was trying to watch that illegally too, but it wasn't
all
out
right.
yet.
So just to back some
How
things
about
up,
you was just trying to watch it? Like it
I
doesn't
know,
have
man.
to
I
be
chop out the
illegally.
bandwidth. I don't
just,
give a shit.
just
Sue me. I'm just playing. Don't sue
the
me. I'm
views
broke.
expressed here
nothing. I don't
on
know
On the
anything
Real
about that. I
is
buy
solely
everything I
LeVar's
want.
and
Broke. It's all
LeVar's
jokes.
only.
Okay.
It's satire.
Okay, everybody. So Courtney asked how much Justice League grossed. No pun intended. $642 million, and Ant-Man may still catch it. I just want to point that out. Ant-Man crossed
Ant-Man is wildly mediocre, son.
the $200 million mark this weekend, or almost did. But it has not released in its biggest market yet, which is China,
Right.
or the UK, or Japan. The original Ant-Man made over $100 million in China.
Okay.
In the UK, it made $25 million. I say, and Ant-Man is outperforming the original Ant-Man in the markets that it has already been released in
Right.
by a whole lot. So if we're taking the performance it's doing now and then we sort of multiply that by what it's projected to do in China and the UK and Japan, it could actually still beat Justice League.
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
That's crazy, bro.
Okay.
But ain't none of that beating my guy Wakanda forever, bro.
Oh, by the way, Duran says DC's holding it together with the CW. They're doing their thing. I'm not up to date with the current season. Don't bring that back up with that frog,
I
man.
like chicken.
Courtney says if Ant-Man could like pull the win out on Justice League, they should just hang up everything.
That shit right the fuck up.
Just
bro.
like cancel Wonder Woman 2. Cancel
Who
whatever.
the F cancel Christmas?
But the movie I'm looking forward to this Christmas is like right in front of Aquaman is Alita Battle Angel, which is probably gonna stink.
Yeah. It's gonna be better than
you never know. Your boy James
Ghost
Cameron.
in the Show.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I feel like if he had faith in it, he would have directed it instead of handing it off to this guy, Rodriguez or something.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Here we go. Second one for the day.
Yeah. Disney's Tangled, its production cost more than Avatar.
Wow. Tangled is the one with Brad Pitt, right?
That's the
girl with the long
yeah.
hair, Rapunzel.
Yep.
That's why it cost that much. It was Brad Pitt.
He drove up the production cost? Oh, okay.
That was all to him.
Well,
okay.
Let's get this show
all right.
rolling.
So some other quick news. Movie Pass, who is just a train wreck in real time, has now limited their service. This is after they raised the price to $15 and said you can't see movies opening week.
Movie Pass.
And then they added surcharges.
Yeah.
Now they're saying we're getting rid of surcharges, but you can only see 3 movies a month.
Wow.
And I have canceled my Movie Pass.
Yeah, I'm done with Movie Pass.
Yeah.
So there's that. Also, I canceled it because it stopped working in every theater. It just says no shows at this time.
Well, I'm trying to hold on to it because it was a gift. You know, so
can you still use it though?
No.
Exactly.
So
I don't mean if you want to use it. I mean literally, if you wanted to, could you use it?
No, I can't because I can't see any like hot new movies. I can't. No, it's just
you can't see the new hotness.
No, it's way too many restrictions.
Old and busted, bro.
They're done.
Okay. And I think that
is Movie Pass going to last?
No, they're done.
Okay.
You see, last week we talked about how they did a reverse stock split because they were under $1 with their stock.
Right.
And so they basically merged 250 stocks into one. So if you had 250
shares,
Helios and Masterson stock that was worth $1 each,
right,
you had $250 worth of stock, but then they merged it together and said one stock is now worth $250. The same day they did that, and it brought the share price up to $21 a share from a few cents per share, the share price dropped down to below $1 again. Wow. So now your stock was basically worth 0.3 cents.
It was worth less. It's like worth less than what it originally started with.
Yes, and so it went down from $21 to last time I checked 13 cents.
Good job, Movie Pass.
But
look,
didn't
man,
I tell you that shit was never
thing,
gonna work?
But look, AMC A-List stole it.
Yep.
You should have knew that all along.
And so the same way all these record labels didn't want to follow the Napster model, now they're all on iTunes. I just think that's the purpose they serve. So, you know, and I think they got pushed out of the market. We got one more thing till we get to the main topic. Jordan Voight Roberts, this was the director of Kong Skull Island, is signed on to direct a Metal Gear Solid movie.
Wow.
And he released some of his concept art, and it looks amazing.
Metal Gear Solid?
And the way he talks about it, like, he's super passionate.
Right. I saw portions of the interview. I didn't
it looks like it could be good, but then It's a video game movie, so who knows?
Well, look, real quick, because we are
It's hot.
roasting.
That's why.
we're roasting.
Hot.
Yeah, and so
And we do this for you folks.
yeah, we do this for the people. But with Metal Gear Solid was always stationed in film more so than a video game, right? And it's one of those games that you ask anyone, the person could be playing. I mean, now we have Twitch, but the person could be playing it and you could just sit there and watch them play the game. Like, you don't have to ever want to participate or pick up the sticks. You just want to watch them because the storyline is so deep.
Yeah, before The Last of Us and these other games that have come out, that was like the cinematic standard, especially even when it was on the PS2.
Right, PS1.
Yeah, when he was on the George Washington Bridge.
That's PS2.
Okay.
But that's Raiden, when Raiden was introduced. But anyway, so it has a lot of story that it can pull from. It has an integral character that anyone can relate to in terms of just there's a familiarity that's there with the character, so you won't feel so confused in looking at this person, and you can move through it that way. You can watch the story play out, and there's a lot of content that they can mess around with for a 2-hour movie or a 2-hour and 30-minute movie or whatever.
Now,
versus these other games that you can't really do that with.
Duran points out that Tomb Raider was an exact replica of the game. I think Duran leaves out one important fact. The game was good. So it wasn't an exact replica.
Right,
the first Tomb Raider movie?
No. The latest one, which is hot garbage. And all they had to do was make the game.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I think it's not understanding that those mediums are different, right? And we discussed this before, that what translates well on a game, and that you're playing or whatever, it doesn't translate to the audience on the big screen, because there's a tendency when you have video games, the avatar itself is just a blank whatever, and you're injecting yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, whatever, however they're moving about into that character. So a lot of these things fail versus on the stance that either the avatar is really nothing, they're just like lifeless, and there's really not much there. It's more so the world than the character itself. And also, I think there's a tendency where these creators spend too much time being so like the game and not giving themselves any wiggle room to be different.
That comes from a person who's such a stickler for the comics and continuity.
Yes, I am about continuity, but I know that a comic can translate better on the big screen versus a video game.
Here's the thing,
as I said, long form versus short form.
I'm not gonna go on my big diatribe about this because I talked about this ad nauseum.
Right.
But I think the reason a lot of these video game movies have failed is because they do not respect the audience. They think that, these guys play video games and drink Mountain Dew and eat Doritos and they just want to see explosions. And I think that they keep trying to recreate scenes in a video game as opposed to looking at why we love those games, which is the world or the characters and their progression. And this director said some very interesting things. He says that there have been some video game movies, but they weren't actually based on video games. He said if you want to recreate the feeling of a video game, look at a movie like Kubo and the Two Strings. That's basically Zelda.
Right.
There's boss battles in it. There is leveling up your character. There's building up the courage to go take on the enemy at the end.
Right, but it's not
Zelda. What would you say is the best video game movie?
Are we counting the original Mortal Kombat?
Any one of them. Count them all.
I don't think... Not counting the original Mortal Kombat, I would have to go with Silent Hill, the first one. The second one was garbage, but the first Silent Hill was like a legit
Silent Hill was really good.
None of the none of the Resident Evils?
Resident Evil was really good. The first one was really good. Even though...
When that dude got cut up with the lasers, when
even
he was
the black
jumping
dude,
over the shit, and then the black dude got cut, that was crazy.
That's on my death. That was on my, when we did the deaths, our top 5 deaths.
Like subversive stuff with that in the whole Resident Evil thing. There's a lot of...
You're talking about the games,
messages.
Right? The games?
The games, and don't get me started when they went to Africa and the zombies
that's the
were
video
African.
games.
Oh, he was killing people that didn't even look that zombie-fied.
They wasn't zombies.
Yeah, they just look like regular black people in clothes.
But I think, really quick is just
Who
that...
was on lean.
They're excuse me, there's too much, there's paying attention too much to the audience and what they want, and driving home these little, narratives or hot spots, not hot spots, but these little things that may get the audience happy, or make them feel happy because you had this explosion here, or there's this familiar shot, or the character says this line, instead of taking what works in the game and then making it your own in the film, because it's a different medium.
It's not capturing exactly what happens in the game, it's capturing the feeling.
But you have to identify, right, but you have to identify if it's the world that makes that game or if it's the character and the story. Sure. And those things are not all
but
the same.
I think too often we get these hollow characters, right? And so why I think... Oh, by the way, Courtney says best video game of movie of all time, and he is right, but I wasn't counting this. Is Street Fighter 2 the cartoon.
Yeah,
but that's animation. Yeah, that's
anime. That don't really count.
Didn't come out in theaters.
Man,
can't count that.
Street Fighter 2.
I remember renting that from Blockbuster.
I have it on bootleg. Yeah,
that was good. Like the animation, that was.
But
really
and
good.
also they had real character development there. Like you cared about why they were fighting.
Right.
Not like
How many times did you watch that movie? What's the
oh
last
my
time you watched
god,
it?
that and Dragon Ball are
One of
the
my
gateway
favorites.
drugs into anime.
For you?
You let your tape rock till your tape pop.
And Speed Racer, obviously.
The cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you didn't like the what you call it?
That movie actually wasn't bad.
It was very true to the damn cartoon.
Yeah,
it was
it's
just
actually
stupid.
like if you think about it,
if you watch that cartoon, it was a great adaptation.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Now let us move on to the final topic.
Alrighty.
Dave Mother effing Batista is not having
depending on who you ask.
Dave Batista, a real one, son.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna read some quotes while that music plays. Okay, see, couldn't get the clean version, huh?
Because you need to, because that's
Dave
what he
Batista
said.
On Twitter says, "I will do what I am legally obligated to do, but Guardians without James Gunn is not what I signed up for. Guardians without James Gunn isn't Guardians of the Galaxy. It's also pretty nauseating to work with someone who'd empower a smear campaign by fascists. Hashtag cyber Nazis. That's just how I feel."
Yo, all I'm going to say is... But wait, there's more?
There is more. So, Batista also, in an interview with Variety, says, "Where I'm at right now is that if Marvel doesn't use the script that James Gunn wrote, I'm going to ask them to release me from my contract. Cut me out or recast me. I'd be doing James a disservice if I didn't." And he says, "Nobody's defending his tweets, but this is a smear campaign on a good man. I spoke with Chris Pratt the day after it happened, and he's a bit religious, so he wanted time to pray and figure it out. But I was more like, F this," and he actually cursed. "This is BS," cursed again. "James is one of the kindest, most decent people I've ever met." And he doesn't care how big Disney is. He doesn't care that they're going to own 40% of the market. He's like, look, this is wrong. And at this point, there's no good outcome for this. This is going to be ugly. Because if they go back
if you got the actors against the studio and all of that, and it's a whole back and forth, it's going to put a sour taste in the fans' mouth.
No matter how good the next one is, people are going to be like, oh, it would have been better if James Gunn did it.
People are going to be divided, yeah. You're dividing people now.
And Marvel has gotten so far and able to do things like introduce Rocket Raccoon and Groot and basically say they can do anything because of the goodwill of the fans. They don't have that. But here's the thing. Them turning around now is just as big of a crap storm. Right? Because they already made the decision.
Right.
And now they turned around. It's going to look like, oh, you buckled to pressure of Dave Batista. Right?
Right.
And then you know how the internet gets when they smell blood. If Disney shows like they're gonna backtrack, the audience is gonna, the Twitterverse is gonna force them to do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do at this point, because it's not just easy as hiring him back. They're gonna deal with a whole bunch. Not to mention the president.
Right.
You know he'll say something about it.
45. Well, you stay the course.
Okay.
you just stay the course.
I don't know what the answer is here, but
you stay the course.
Yeah, all I know is I want to see them rehire James Gunn, bro.
Me too.
They should do it. I had said it last week, but how awesome would it be if you see the commercials like James Gunn reinstated, and then you just see, you know what I'm saying? So now you're back from outer space. You know what I'm saying? I will survive. How awesome would that shit be if you hear the
intro song?
Yes, as the intro song.
Right.
And let's be clear, this is all about the Fox deal.
That shit would be so epic because that song just goes so perfect. Now you're back from outer space. If they play that, it's just like glorious. It's gonna make $1 billion.
But if you're trying to make this money and somebody tells you under one
people
stipulation,
like redemption stories, bro.
Then what are you gonna do?
What do you mean?
People like redemption.
No, if you're trying to acquire another business and that business, right, tells you, yo, you have to get rid of somebody.
The MCU.
What are you gonna do?
Is not as valuable as what they are trying to do with Fox.
Exactly.
Right? The MCU in 10 years has grossed $18 billion, which is amazing. It is the biggest franchise in the history of franchises. It's bigger than Star Wars.
Right.
Right?
Facts.
It's bigger than Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Facts.
Right? Bigger than Harry Potter.
Facts.
Still not bigger than how much they're paying for Fox. $18 billion is what the MCU has made versus $71 billion that they're going to pay for Fox.
In a check that they're writing.
One check.
Obvious, right.
Thanks,
so one
Comcast.
director is not more important than that, but they shouldn't have fired him.
No, they shouldn't.
No.
But now that they have, I don't know what they do.
You can't put the,
But for
milk back in the carton.
For small,
the bell has already been rung.
For the feeble who can only see barely in front of their hand, they look at this as like, yo, it's the end of the world. And it's not. It sucks. It's horrible. It's bad. But this is long-term goals. You know what I mean? And when you're a boss and when you're a king or a strategist, you're thinking several steps ahead.
No, I know.
All I'm saying is, if you gave Chris Hardwick his job back, give back James Gunn his job, bro.
Different circumstances.
AMC
I'll give you a
not.
better.
You want to know why? Because that shit is old shit, bro. That shit ain't even recent. And he already said sorry. And the fact that you know that the person who did it is a piece of shit too, and he was out there tweeting himself, the dude who set James Gunn up was out there tweeting horrible stuff. Then
you said Chris Hardwick said sorry? Or are you talking about James Gunn said sorry?
James Gunn had been said sorry even before he got hired. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, how do you fire him for something that he already said he was sorry for? And you still hiring him anyway.
You know the phone call was made.
They've
been knew about it.
But that's what made
after you getting more facts and you knew that it was just some troll and some dude who's a piece of shit, some neo-Nazi, then you should freaking reinstate him because it's the right thing to do. It's just like how after they had Chris Hart was in the sidelines. They was just like, okay, we did some investigating. He back reinstated. It's just like with cops,
because he had
like
that,
how they freaking be like,
Patty
okay,
Hearst money.
you want paid leave until we figure this out. Okay, you just sit down, cool off over there. We're gonna transfer you over here, and then now you back.
But what happens when people say the same thing about Roseanne? She apologized. She was a mistake.
Different.
She thought the bitch was white. Okay.
No, it's not that. Roseanne is very different because she said it today.
Right.
But the thing
doesn't matter when you say it.
No. It does matter because they knew what her past was, and they acknowledged her past, and they wanted to have a dialogue around her being there. So if James Gunn had said these things today,
I don't
nobody
believe
would
in
have
punishing
argued.
people for old stuff that they said.
Right.
By the way, Robert Downey.
It's not like I would feel a whole different way if he had said the N-word. If he had said the N-word, I'd be like, F him. You know what I'm saying?
There's no statute of limitations on the N-word.
There's not.
Right.
You didn't say the N-word, man. So.
But let's be clear. Robert Downey Jr. From 1996 to 2001 was arrested numerous times on charges related to drugs, and in 1996 he almost killed a person while driving.
God damn, son! Why you gotta put his business out there?
And heroin
bro?
with
Why
a gun in the car.
Super pulling his business.
Don't do nothing in front of Steve, bro.
But
yeah, I'm sorry, RDJ, man. You've been trying to live your life right, and this guy over here smearing your good name.
No, but that's the point.
Why
that's
you have to remind people of his old stuff for? People don't forgot
All
about
I'm
that.
All I'm saying is
only the elderly remember.
Damn, man.
And the dedicated.
Iron Man is the cash cow,
so
they could forgive that, but they're worried about some tweets from.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, RDJ, man. I don't co-sign that business.
So That's just my point. Like and again, you made Songs of the South. So to say that people can't be
Dropping
forgiven,
dimes over here, bro.
but this is about Batista. How do we feel about him taking this stand? Is it wise for his career?
Dude, is a dude playing another dude, huh?
Is this wise for his career? Does it matter? Or the fans?
Yo, I think that Dave Batista is the real MVP, bro. This shit shows character. It shows that he's a ride or die person, man. That's his friend. This guy, people knew Batista in wrestling, but you know, James Gunn is the one who made them take him seriously as an actor. If it wasn't for James Gunn giving him this opportunity, then he would have never got the opportunity to shine in Blade Runner 2049. I think that
amazing movie.
I think that Batista was the best part of that movie. Like, I felt for Batista when Ryan Gosling went in there and killed him. I was just there like, yo, I hated Ryan Gosling for the rest of the fucking movie after that.
I think you hated Ryan Gosling for the rest of the year.
Because he killed Batista, I was just like, how you gonna kill my guy Drax like that?
You know what,
Come
though?
on, son, bro.
Batista had the most emotion
I
in
hated
that
the movie. The rest of the movie, because Ryan
amazing.
Gosling did that, I felt no empathy for him. Because I was just like, Batista was a good dude. You didn't have to kill him. You could have let him go.
But
for that, I felt no empathy for him after
that.
that.
Was part
That's why I didn't like the
of
movie.
The expert filmmaking of Denis Villeneuve.
That's why you died at the end. F you, Ryan Gosling.
And if it pulled that much emotion out of you, they did their job.
That's true.
Yo, I'm just saying, Dave Batista did his thing. He the real MVP.
So
I don't think he understands
I support that guy.
I don't think
he should
Batista,
be getting more roles. He should be getting just as much roles as The Rock.
I don't think Batista understands that he.
Why doesn't
is
he
just
get
an
more acting
actor.
roles? Why do they act like The Rock is the only diesel ball-headed dude?
Because he's the guy right now, and The Rock put in
But
enough work.
You can't. But Batista can't act. Batista can act.
Yeah, but
The Rock has
Batista
no
has
racial
not-
identity.
Batista.
Neither does Batista.
He really doesn't.
Batista.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what he is. He's Filipino, but you wouldn't even know that.
I didn't even know that.
See? He's
No,
mad
that's
racially
you.
ambiguous. Like, especially when he cuts his hair low.
He could
Not
be a
as
white
much-
guy.
not
he could be
as much
Spanish
as
He
The
could be
Rock.
black, he could be Spanish, he could be Mexican, he could be whatever.
Not as much as
He could be an old guy, he could be a young guy, because the way they aged him up in Blade Runner 2049,
They didn't age him up. They just did less makeup. But
Yeah,
anyway,
the point is that he's an actor, right?
Right.
And he doesn't. I don't think he's young in this. He has a future in acting.
Yeah.
But these executives can easily turn their
blacklist
back.
him? Yeah.
Yes.
and that's the thing.
And I don't think
With
he
this Fox
has to
deal-
understand these type of things.
With this
how
Fox
goes.
deal,
Nah,
they are
if
going to
he
He's a
can't-
fly.
40% of the box office. This is the scary thing
he
about
could
the whole.
totally shoot himself in the foot and end his whole career. He would have to quit acting and retire from acting. That's the only way he would get out of this role. Because from you sign a contract, they own your ass. You
No, I
better
don't.
show up.
He said he's gonna do what he's obligated
Yeah.
to do, but he's breaking the number one rule, which is
Nah, you don't shit on
don't
them
right.
in public.
Don't talk crap about the studio.
Right.
Right? We saw what
And he talking
happened
crap aggressively.
with
I respect
Josh
it, though.
Trank and Fantastic Four.
Respect it, but we can't pay his bills.
He's there like, this is bullshit. And F
Fantastic
And
Four
yes,
Four
Fantastic
was
Four.
trash.
Yes. Yep.
But he was like, "Yo, the studio meddled."
He
in it.
went
They was
off.
like, "Oh yeah, well now
Okay.
you're not getting nothing."
You're done.
And because even Warner Brothers will look at Batista as like, "Yo, James Gunn's not talking shit about Disney right now.
You know what?
He's
We
keeping
bringing-
his mouth
He's
closed.
right. He's
You
playing
know
the
what'd be
role."
crazy? It's just like, you know what? We bringing back James Gunn, but Batista, you're fired. We're killing you in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
They could do that,
They can easily do
You
that.
should have shut the F up.
or they
You
could
should've
be
bring
like,
him back
"Yo,
anyway.
you didn't come back from the snap."
That's it.
Right.
So I think that it is noble and honorable what he's doing.
It's mad honorable, bro. I
but
respect that guy.
I hope he knows what he's doing, because even James Gunn is
James
not
Gunn gotta
out
be
there
calling him like,
bad-mouthing
yo,
Disney.
dude, like, but I
'Cause
respect it,
it's
yo.
Don't do
Disney.
That
that.
shows character, bro.
It's
That's
Disney.
a real friend. Your real friend gonna put his whole livelihood on the line just because he would appreciate the opportunities that you afforded him. I respect that. You can't
Also,
do
part
nothing
of
but
it is
respect that.
though, when you getting a lot of phone calls, which I'm sure Dave Batista is right now, between Guardians and Blade Runner,
Yeah.
and his other things, you kind of think like you hot out there, so you can say whatever you want, right?
Right.
Like, yo,
He
I
go
got
back to the
calls coming
WWE
anywhere,
whenever he
you
ready
know?
and get
That
another
stuff.
check.
And
You know what?
it
I'll
could
save
stop
that fun
real
fact.
quick.
I'll
You
save
know what
that
I
fun
mean?
fact.
And
Right.
because look, Warner Brothers could be looking at Batista and like, yo, you're not a soldier. We can't rock with you. What if we do
Exactly.
something you don't like?
Exactly.
You
You're
know
gonna
what I
you're gonna complain about it. You're gonna crap the bed.
But he does have a relationship with Warner Brothers.
And he's not at that level yet. He's not
But the
the
whole
executive
staff signed that
director
shit.
or anything
But
like that.
the whole
Executive
staff gave a
producer.
politically correct answer. Dave Batista don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
We don't want to give up.
Yeah,
So
he still has a family to take care of and stuff like that.
I
Please,
respect
I
it.
got kids
But now
to
here's the
feed.
question: where does this go? Because I don't think it gets better, right? Because
you
the
know
more
what gets
he
no
talks,
better? The heat
the
down here.
more fans are gonna get loud, and then other cast members are gonna be asked about it, right? And everybody's made a statement from the cast, and if you know the whole cast is not, their heart is not into it,
right.
what kind of product are you gonna put out? Do they even make Guardians 3 now?
They're actors. Have you seen when they tell you monkey dance?
No. That's not what I mean.
Monkey cry.
What I'm saying is
phone
it in.
it's
The
not
next
gonna
movie's
have
gonna
the
be terrible.
energy going into it.
Right.
Like it could have a low opening weekend because the fans would just be like, "Yo, I'm not watching this."
That's
Like
true
if you
too.
don't use James Gunn's script, it's just that it's not gonna be the
If
same.
they're gonna have the X-Men, they have other movies to make. Maybe they just say, "Yo, we're not making another Guardian."
It's like y'all dead.
Right.
We don't care. We got Wolverine.
It just stops at 2, right? Volume 2.
It's
and
like
that's
now
it.
we got all the A-list people. We don't need y'all no more. We was only using y'all because we didn't have them.
It all depends, man. But
They already told you everything about to be drastically different in the next phase moving forward.
Courtney says Guardians of the Galaxy is getting made by the hook or by the crook.
Yeah.
the mouse's house, man.
I hear you, man, but it could be the first MCU sequel to not outperform its predecessor.
It's a possibility.
But
We'll see, but
all right. Any parting words about? We're getting out of here now, but parting words about? We saw some movies this weekend. Mission Impossible. What you think? No
Mission
spoilers,
Impossible. Yo, I want to say about Mission Impossible, it wasn't even whack.
though. I want to
Henry
say
Cavill was decent in it.
it was amazing.
Yo, all I'm gonna say is, Tom Cruise is Jesus. I'm
That's
sorry.
really the plot of the movie.
I'm sorry. He is L. Ron Hubbard reincarnated.
Right.
This movie shows you that Scientology is very real. It is a infomercial for Scientology because
It really is.
only when you're a Scientologist you realize that only you can do certain things. When there's a car accident, you realize that only you could do something about it.
That's really
Only
a
you
lot
could
the
jump
movie.
out of planes. Only you could slide down mountains. Only you can prevent forest fires.
I was gonna say it if you did
That's
it.
good. No.
Those
But
beating levels.
yeah, through the roof. And
Through
look,
the
I
roof,
just want
bro.
everybody to know when you see the trailer for this or you watch this movie, understand
All that
and
shit is real.
It's all they're not using green screen.
Because when I was
And
watching
they're
it,
not using stuntmen. That's all.
yo, I
Tom
watched
Cruise.
it on bootleg. But even watching it, I was just there like, this looks amazingly real. Because I know when it's like I'm seeing blue screen when somebody's jumping out of a plane, it looks fake. I mean, I can tell CG from, real shit.
Right.
But it looked real the whole entire
Rich
time.
is watching.
He's out there eating placentas.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Rich, what up?
I don't
You
know
can't
what he's calling
explain to
trash.
me. You cannot explain to me why Tom Cruise is the fastest man in the world. You cannot explain to me.
Yeah, it's a lot of 36-year-old men making fun of Tom Cruise running at 56 faster than they could
Right.
run when they was
Yo,
26.
this dude
Right,
is
right.
faster than a speeding bullet. Yo,
That's
more
those
powerful than a
placentas.
locomotive. Can leap tall buildings in a single bound. Like nobody can do the stuff that Tom Cruise can do, bro. It's amazing. Like hanging
Bone
off
broth.
of planes and like it's crazy. Like sliding down mountains and living. Like Henry Cavill said himself, this is the day that Tom Cruise dies. Like
He
every
said that
single
like
day.
every day on the set.
Every single day on the set, like when you see this, it is impossible everything that he did, but he still did it because he's Tom Cruise, and only he could do it
and
because his
it's
speed
Mission
levels
impossible.
through the roof.
And that's the thing.
It got me strongly considering Scientology.
And that's
Oh,
the
Lord.
thing.
That's the only way
When
to
you
live
see
forever.
him-
Yo, why he don't have a wrinkle on his face? Tom Cruise don't look a day older than the day he became a Scientologist.
Placentas.
Courtney says Tom is Hal Jordan. DC wishes.
Right.
They wish.
He is
can only
immortal,
wish.
bro. Immortal.
But let's not say he wouldn't do it because he was going to do that Monster Universe thing.
How old is Tom Cruise? Like 60?
56. He's 56.
It doesn't
Crazy.
make any sense.
Okay, but when he's riding against traffic, that's him. When he's falling from the helicopter, also him. When he's jumping out of the plane, also him.
Right.
So I highly recommend it. It was great.
Yeah, that dude's crazy.
Only Mission Impossible movie I haven't seen in opening weekend. Oh, well.
Messing up, man.
Yeah,
And
well,
it was the highest, believe it or not, it was the highest opening weekend for Mission Impossible.
like ever.
At only 61 million, which is weird. right? Big Mission Impossible.
It was never Mission Impossible. Was not.
It's
that.
just like a chase
No, I
movie.
mean they make around 700 million.
It's a bunch of running
It's not.
and double cross, and this person's on my side, they're not on my side, they're back on my side, they're not on my side.
And you pull off
you
a
think
mask,
that they're
mask
on their
off.
side.
Under the
Oh,
mask.
you thought I double crossed you, but I didn't double cross you. I just made you think that so that I could really get this one to confess.
Shout out to Future.
It's crazy.
and then I pulled my mask off, but I forgot I wasn't wearing a mask, so I pulled the skin off my face, and now it's just a skeleton there, and then I die.
It's crazy.
Future Hendrix.
Mission Impossible 7. That's the plot. All right, folks.
But that's all, folks.
Tell them where they can find you, good sir.
The dude abides with the Z and a couple periods in between, and you can find me in my room under my AC because it's hot as F down here.
I agree with you, sir. Mr. Woods, where can they find you?
Why Woods, Why Not on most social media platforms that I'm not on.
Okay.
Or whywoodswhynot.com.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And this has been episode 36 of On the Real. We thank you for watching, and do us a favor, if you can, take a moment to like and subscribe, and most importantly, share this on your social media, and come and join the conversations. Leave some comments after the fact. We will answer you. And you can also give us topics of things that you want to hear us talking about. I'd like to thank Courtney. I'd like to thank Duran. I'd like to thank Rich. I'd like to thank Miss Baldiaki and everybody else who contributed to this thing. And we will be back here next week. And also, if you're into politics, check us out on the second page. And if you want to hear dads talking about dad stuff, check us out on 36 Chambers of Fatherhood. That is all, folks.
And this week's episode has been brought to you by the letters F and U. See you next week.
Hugs, not drugs.